Thousands of people make the annual pilgrimage to the Skaro Shrine, just 80 kilometers northeast of Edmonton, Alberta.
It's a replica of the famous Our Lady of Lourdes shrine in France and was built by hand by the Polish parishioners of Skaro. They used horse-drawn carriages to move the rocks from their fields to the site of the shrine.
The first pilgrimage took place in 1919, and there's been a pilgrimage every year since on August 14th and 15th.
The Skaro Shrine is an example of European influence in Alberta, and Alex Smyth learned more about how Polish settlers created a monument that still attracts people to the area almost 100 years later.
And this is the first of a new segment on our show called Roadside Attractions.
On a road trip in northern Alberta, I drove past a sign pointing to the Skaro Shrine. I was curious to learn more, so I decided to check it out. It happens to be my lucky day, because the sign at the site says that the annual pilgrimage is taking place here later today.
My name is Janine Whiting, and I am a parishioner here at Our Lady of Good Counsel. Many years ago, the parish priest decided that the Polish settlers that were here needed to have a focal point, and so he decided that they should build a grotto here, a replica of the grotto in Lourdes in France. And they all brought wagon loads of rocks and dirt by horse, and 600, I believe, wagon loads of rocks came here. The grotto is a semicircular shape. It's very tall, probably 20 meters high at the highest point. Within the grotto itself, there are 2 stairwells that go up on the inside. As well, there is a main altar area in the back that is made of stone with an archway. That is where the main celebration happens, is within the center of the grotto. The very highest point, there is almost like a castle-like structure that has a cross of Calvary with a big Jesus on it as well, of crucifixion. And it is quite large, so you can see it from the highway. And it is very imposing over the top of the grotto.
I got a chance to speak with some of the people making the pilgrimage to find out what brings them here. For Vicki Latko, it's a strong personal connection to the area.
This is where we grew up. We were all baptized here, and parents are buried here, and this is our place.
And so how long have you been coming to this pilgrimage?
How old am I? 79 years.
My name is Father Francis Mariappa. I am the pastor of this parish, Our Lady of the Good Counsel. The grotto is very dear to the community over here because they have dedicated themselves to this grotto because they inherited the legacy from their forefathers.
Stanley Wachowicz says his family immigrated to the area in 1897.
My dad and mom got married here. I got married in here. My brothers and sisters were all baptized in here. We all grew up in here with grandmas and grandpas.
At 8 o'clock, there is a Holy Mass begins in the grotto area. And then there is a candlelight procession up and down the grotto later on in the evening.
Elaine Tallas-Curdone is visiting all the way from California, but has fond memories of the pilgrimage.
I still remember when I was around 5 or 6 years old, we used to love the procession of taking the candle and walking up and being able to hold the lit candle.
The visual aspect of thousands of candles burning, going up and down the grotto is breathtaking. It really is. And I think that even if you're not a Catholic, it really is a very spiritual place. I think there is a spiritualness to this area, to this ground, to this location that tugs at your heart, no matter what your background is.
That is really fascinating. A hand-built stone grotto that's on the side of the highway in rural Alberta, that's not something you hear about every day.
That's for sure. The fact that it was built by Polish immigrants and attracts people of such different cultural backgrounds really is intriguing.
I'd like to witness the 100th anniversary of the pilgrimage next year. I wonder how many people will make the journey.
I guess we'll have to wait until August 14th, 2018 to find out.
I guess so. I must admit, I really like the idea of the new roadside attraction segment. There are hundreds of interesting ones to discover across the country. I wonder what will be up next.